What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video for the No Plan B channel. Tonight we're going to talk about foreclosures and why they're not a good option in this current market. So as you heard me say before, I typically like to fish in other ponds, ones that are not saturated, ones that are overlooked by most real estate investors. Let me preface this by saying that foreclosures can be a lucrative avenue in the right market and if you know what you're doing. But for this current market, the moratorium that's been passed, which is preventing foreclosures and evictions until the end of February, that aside, I'm going to go ahead and dive in, show you the data, again, especially from somebody who's starting off and looking to get into real estate investing. I'll show you why that's probably not the best avenue. Listen, I get it. I understand why most people, when they're starting off, want to dive into foreclosures. Anytime I talk to someone that wants to get involved in real estate investing, 99% of the time they mention, hey, I want to find a foreclosure. Because with foreclosures, they're associating with a deal, and potential equity and motivation, which is not always the case. But that is the most common route that most people think of when they're thinking of, investing in real estate. So let's go ahead. We're going to dive right in, and let's find a foreclosure graph for the United States so we can look at actual data here. And Atom Data is one of the larger data providers. We'll try to find something relatively recent. That's from 2019. Let's go ahead. Let's find something a little more recent. Okay. Okay, great. So January 14th, 2021, just under a month ago. Here you have an article saying U.S. foreclosure activity drops to a 16-year low in 2020. So here's our graph. You could see during the foreclosure crisis, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, we were at the height of foreclosures, and then it started to decline until ultimately here we are, 2020, and then 2021 we're just started. So we have very, very limited inventory to start off with. And, as I mentioned many times before, the foreclosure avenue is very saturated. It's also an avenue in which a lot of experienced investors with deep pockets have been, engaging in for many years. So even in a downward market where there's a abundance of foreclosures and short sales, it could still be challenging because that's what you're up against. So here we have the graph which shows historical data for the entire United States. Let me go ahead and show you my backyard, Morris County. If we go ahead and bring up those foreclosures, here we have all the open foreclosures. Now I want you to pay attention to the dates here. So granted, we currently have this moratorium that was extended to the end of February. So in theory, there's no foreclosures that are currently happening. These will be postponed. If we get another extension, then obviously these will be postponed again. But let's just look at how many properties, with the moratorium aside, how many we have available. So here's the foreclosure date. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there would just be 10 scheduled for that day. I've been following foreclosures since I've started in real estate investing in 2006. I could say that this is very, very limited inventory. There's usually pages upon pages. Here you have 2018, you have 2. 2025, 2. So if you look at this right here, and again, you're starting off and you're looking to land your first deal, you're going to be competing with people that do this day in and day out. And if there's very limited inventory available, the chances that you're going to go ahead and find a deal are like finding a needle in a haystack. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but at the end of the day, if you want to maximize your probability of getting a deal. Again, this tells me right here with the data that we're looking at that focusing on foreclosures is not the avenue to go. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's check out another county. Let's try Sussex County foreclosures. Let's see what kind of data they have. Okay, so on their list, it looks like they have, well, one for the 31st of March. We have roughly, I don't know, 12 to 15 on the 3rd. February 24th, you have 6 or 7. On the 17th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see it's limited inventory right here. Again, moratorium aside, if I was starting out and you only have this many prospects to choose from, and keep in mind not all of these are deals. Me personally, and I think most people would agree, that you're better off focusing in other areas. This just reinstates what I've been saying of fishing in other ponds. It's one thing to be looking in certain areas where everyone's looking, and it's another thing to be fishing in a pond where everyone's fishing and there's 2 fish. Now, this is not to say that foreclosures and pre-foreclosures are not a good option. They can be, again, in the right market. What market would that be? Well, obviously the opposite of where we're at now. It would be a downward market, and one in which the inventory in foreclosures is on the rise or an all-time high, and that will increase your chances of a potential deal. The foreclosures and pre-foreclosures are not necessarily the easiest deals, so I do recommend that people have some kind of background or have the proper training or assistance or partners. But we'll go ahead, we'll dive into that in subsequent videos, as to navigate through foreclosures, short sales, etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.